today. So I would like to start the class and say welcome to those of you that are joining us. We started it later today, so just to be sure we have some people to watch our class today. My name is Brian Suhr. I'm sending live here from the Demonets Village, and we're gonna talk a little about the central light today. So it will be my main focus to talk about the bleaching system of the central light, and I will show you some different kind of mannequin heads that I prepared for you guys with some lightning. And I'm also going to show you another way to use the central light. So on this mannequin head here, I already have done some highlights for you guys. As you might see, there's some blonde coming through here. And sometimes I find like I would want to blend the color nicer together and even maybe get a little more lightning coming through, but a nicer blending between my natural hair and my highlights. I can accept different kind of options. I could do it with a color. I could sometimes do it with lighting system, like the central light example, to get this kind of extra lightning. Most, of course, as you probably know, that when you exactly going to use a color, if you have previous color on the hair, it's not going to lighten the hair, right? So that's the issue sometimes. When we have done some foils and we want to get a little more extra lighting to the natural hair to get a nicer blending, we cannot do it with a color. In that case here, I actually going to use my tolerance from the central light, which you see here. The tolerance is a lightening oil which is very gentle to the hair. It can lighten up to 4 levels depending on how you're going to use it. So before I'm going to explain more about the tolerance, I'm going to actually start to do my application. So I'm just going to mix up my product. So just give me a second and I will be back in a second. So here we go. So what I did here, I just took my tolerance here and I mixed it together with a 20 volume, okay? From the mask range of our activator inside Demonets. What is really beautiful about the tolerance is it's a lighting oil. It doesn't have any kind of ammonia inside, so it's very soft and gentle to work with. And you can even work with it on the scalp because it's been dermatologic tested. So you don't have to be worried about that the scalp can have kind of like itching problems and stuff like that, because it is dermatologic tested. And also it's very gentle in the lighting and it's very stable also in the lighting. So what do I mean about this very stable in the lighting? It actually, when you use example 10 volume, you lighten 1 level. If you use 20 volume, you lighten 2 levels. If you lighten 3 levels, you use 30 volume. For those, so 10, 20, 30 volume can go on the scalp, where 40 volume you can only use on the ends of the lens. So you can actually go in and apply example like 20 volume on the roots, and if you want stronger lighting on the ends of the lens, you can use the 40 volume to get a good combination of the two products. Mixing proportion of the lightning oil, the tolerance, is 1 part of the tolerance and 2 part of your activator. And what I've done here, I literally mixed it together in an applicator bottle, and that's what I'm going to do here. Just to tell you about my color techniques here. So what I've been doing here, I just done a few foils, and I actually did the T section. So where I went in and do a section on the top, as I'm going to show you here. I go from where I have my parting into the crown section of the back of the hair. And when I found my point there, I'm just going to show the other part here. So a little bit like a triangle sectioning that I've been working with here. So just for you to see here, as you can see, I go to the crown underneath here. So below the crown, I just go in there and I put in my foils on hold the top section. I'm just gonna put my clips here, just for you guys to better understand what I've been doing. There we go. And I also did in the sides. This technique here I find is really nice, especially for those of you that maybe not starting yet, so I have to go back to the salons, where maybe the time can be a bit issue in the beginning when you open up the salon again after the lockdown. Then this way here actually is a very fast way you can regenerate some money in the salon. You can also quickly just change the lightening of the hair a little bit for the clients, so just get a little like a nice frame lightening, as I want to say here. So this is the sectioning. So you have my side here. I'm just gonna block her here, otherwise she's gonna go away with me. So you do your sectioning here. You put in your foils. I put my foils vertical here. Okay, so they put in vertical. I think I did here like 3 foils in each section. And then on the top section here, I probably had like around 12 foils. So around 15 foils, no more you need to do that. I use here the center light, and I used Progress, which is a classic bleaching powder. I use it in foils. I lighten up, and now I want to blend the color even a little bit more. So you have 2 options. You can either apply all over, is that what you're looking for? And I think that's what I'm going to do, because I think it's going to be quite nice to lighten it. Also, even the shade here in the back, they're going to lighten up a little bit now. You can use, as I said before, 10, 20, and 30 volume. I decided here to go for 20 volume because I want a little bit stronger lightening and a really nice blending at the same time of my blondes and of my color, the natural color underneath. And those of you that know mannequin hairs, I'm quite sure you know that they are, of course, already kind of like quite dark as a base. So she is quite dark as a base, this one here actually. So what I've just have done here is simply just put in my foils on the top section and nothing else so far. So I'm just gonna apply my product from the behind. And also here, I was to say the tolerance can also be very nice as a gentle color cleanser in your business, because sometimes actually you have the clients coming in, right? Especially maybe after the COVID-19, where they have tried to do some color by themselves. That means sometimes they are not exactly what they expected, so they've got darker hair. So this way here, we can actually go in and do a very controlled rinsing and cleansing of the hair, especially if there's too many pigments going on the hair. You just can exactly rely on the product. It's not going to overlighten the hair, because that's another problem I find sometimes when we are lightening up or cleansing out a previous color. It's quite often that actually the lightening gets too much. So we overlighten the hair, so the porosity becomes higher, and then we maybe need to go in and do a repigmentation in worst cases, or we need to go in and choose a product that actually can do a very nice neutralization of the unwanted pigments that we maybe might see when we have applied our color. So I'm just gonna fix my hair here so it look nice. I hope you all can see in there, and I'm sure you already know, but of course have in mind here we cannot talk directly with you guys. So if you have any questions, please feel free to write in the chat, and I will give you an answer for your questions. Okay. Mixing proportion said before is 1 to 2. So 1 part of your tolerance lightening oil and 2 part of your activator. For those of you that maybe just joined into the classroom, we are doing Central Light today, and I'm just going to share some tips and tricks. So I'm not going to talk so much about how you use the product. It's more about how you can use it in a little bit different way and for creative use. Also, what I really like about the tolerance, this one here, of course, is, you can say, quite easy because she had natural hair. But you can imagine sometimes clients come in and they maybe want to even now go a bit lighter, and especially now where maybe we have some limits in how much time we can spend in the salon with the clients. For some of you, in some countries, you can maybe only spend 1 hour with the clients in the salon and not so much time. That means we need to do something faster, right? So little work we can do here. If you want to go a bit lighter, you could do your root application first with the color, and then through the ends and the length, you could work with the tolerance to lighten up the hair at the same time. So you do actually a color correction or color lightening, and you actually do the redraw at the same time. So you save this double process, which is a really nice way to work. Of course, in that case, you need to be very, we can say, precise with the application of your color on the roots, but also through the ends and lengths, because otherwise you're going to have a mark or maybe a line on the hair, so you see the big difference between the previous color and the regrow, right? In case you don't dare to do that, you want to clean the hair first, then literally just apply the color, the tolerance as I'm doing now. But don't apply on the roots, don't apply on the scalp, because we just want to remove the previous color. Also, a way you can work with the tolerance lightening oil is if you have like some band on the hair. So example, let's say again, you do the root color for the clients, and then you have some bands coming through the ends of the lengths maybe, or maybe just on the tips on the ends. Then you can go in again, apply the tolerance. Oops. Apply the tolerance after you've done your root application, and then you can let it process for the full processing time together with your color. And then you rinse everything off, and then you can see that you have cleaned out those overloaded area of pigments. As I said before, it is very, very controlled compared to if you use a bleaching powder. And as those of you that already know, example, Central Light, you know we have bleaching powder in there, and they work, of course, very, very beautiful. But a bleaching powder is not so easy to control. This one here is really controlled very well. As I said before, it is also dermatologically tested. That means you can actually lighten on the scalp without having those kind of strong sensation the clients sometimes might have when you put on a lightening product on the scalp, right? So we want to have a gentle lightening, but we also want something that's very gentle for the scalp at the same time, so the clients feel more comfy and we don't have any concerns or bigger concerns, I want to say, when you use the lightening oil here, so the tolerance. So just working through the ends and the lengths first, from the roots, in the back, I'm going towards the front section here. So I'll go here. You could also have been, let's say here on my model here, you could also just work maybe on the lightening section, so the T section that I did first. I just want to lighten that up a little more, and then I keep still the depth behind. So again here, there's many ways you actually can work in a creative way with your tolerance and the lightening when you work through the hair. You can use a brush when you do this, but as you can see here, I choose here to actually go with applicator bottle, because I find also it's faster, it's easier, and it's also very, very clean to work that way, which I find is very, very nice. You can see when because the oil or the tolerance, it is a little bit thick as an emulsion. So even if you work with it, you can even see when I want to take it down to the bottle where I have to get out, I just literally can put it down to the floor and nothing comes out, which is really, really nice about it also. You can also, of course, flip it upside down, so you don't have to do that every time. But unfortunately, I don't have a holder for that. Another way you can use the tolerance is on brown, I mean, not specifically on brown hair, but all kind of hair where you maybe want to have a little bit of gentle lightening coming through. It could be example clients that maybe don't want to try to be too blonde, they don't want to have so much effect on the hair. It could be example if the clients have like natural hair, if it's a first time clients coming to your salon, then you can also apply the tolerance in foils. And again, it follows the same concept. Even if it's in the foil, it doesn't lighten more than I just said to you. So again, 10 volume, lighten 1 level, 20 volume 2 levels, 30 volume 3 levels. So in this way here, you get really, really soft lightening effect through the hair. And that can be really good for those clients that may be nervous to do any kind of lightening on the hair. Or it can even be if you have like a previous cosmetic colored hair on the hair, you can also use it that way. So you're gonna go in, lighten up the cosmetic color that you already had on the hair. So just give this kind of like gentle sun-kissed look, maybe we can call it that way. So it looks really beautiful and natural. Also, what you'll see with the tolerance, when it starts to lighten up, and you're going to see it later, it doesn't really come out like really warm. So even though there's no pigments inside to neutralize unwanted tone, it doesn't bring out the very gold, the very yellow part of your natural melanin in the hair, which I really like about the Century Light. And I find that's really general for all the product in the Century Light. Whatever you're using, the bleaching powder, so Progress, or you use the Liberty, you really get this very, very kind of like natural lightening without exposed the yellow, the orange pigments too much at the same time. Since also here you have an ammonia-free product, means also it works very gently on your cuticle. So you also see after, when you're done the tolerance, the cleansing of the hair is very, very gentle, and the shine on the hair is very, very beautiful. So that's another benefit you're going to see by using the tolerance this way here. It gives amazing shine. And I even find in many cases, I don't even need to tone the hair after. I just literally can use the lightening effect that I got from tolerance without having to add a toner on top of it. In case I want to add a toner, I have many options. I can do something very, very simple and gentle, which is the Alchemic, where we have the toner from Alchemic, so the conditioner. So it's not really a toning, but we can say it can go in and help you to just neutralize a little bit of the unwanted shades. Example, if you find it's maybe a little bit too warm, then you can use the silver. If you find maybe it got slightly too light compared to what you're expecting, you can use the chocolate conditioner just to tone it down a little bit. Or for those clients that maybe want to try to have a little more like a sandy or beige color, you can again use the chocolate conditioner. In this case here, it can help you again to give you this kind of like sandy effect on the hair. So this is my first half I've done here. You can also work on damp hair if you prefer, but the lightening will be lesser, okay? So just have that in mind. If you work on damp hair, the lightening will be less. As I said before, it is very gentle, the lightening you're going to see. So if you're not sure that, if you have too many pigments on the hair, let's say that you're not sure that a 10 volume going to give you enough lighting because it's maybe overloaded, then you can again go for 20 volumes, just to be sure that you have enough lighting. I just gotta mix up a little bit more product. I was a little too gentle. Always remember, just mix what you need so we don't throw away waste. It's not good for nature, and it's also a waste of money, right? So again, my mixing proportion here is 1 part of my tolerance and 2 part of my activator. And since there's no ammonia inside, of course, the fragrance is really, really beautiful because literally there is no fragrance, it's just neutral. And that's another thing I think there's really nice benefits from using the tolerance is you don't have any kind of unwanted smell. And we also know today that we also have clients coming to the salon. They want to, you know, have something where they feel is more gentle. And some clients think that something not smelling, it is more gentle compared to something smelling. And that's how our brain works, right? So this can be very good also in case you want just something that is a little bit more natural. I just want to say that the tolerance lightening oil is not natural, okay? It is a chemical product, so we have to be careful that we're not gonna promote it as something natural because that would be totally wrong for the clients. You can see the way I apply here. I just apply on the roots first. I use my finger just to spread out the product on the roots, and then I work through the ends and the lengths. Be sure again you have a uniform application when you do the lightning, because otherwise you could maybe end up with a little bit of patchy lightning, and we don't want that to happen at the same time, right? Processing time for the tolerance in general, no matter what kind of the 3 products you're going to use, will be 40 volume or up to 40 volume. Sorry, up to 40 volume, up to 40 minutes, of course. So this depends again on what kind of things you want to see. As you can imagine here, when you're going to talk about the lightning oil here, if you want to have one lightning level, you need literally to have 40 minutes processing time. Okay, if you take it earlier, you're not going to see exactly the same kind of lightning. If you're going to use heat with the product, I don't really want to recommend that, because you can imagine that, example, when you use example 20 volume, as I'm doing here, you can imagine on the scalp example, it maybe lightens slightly more compared to ends and length. So in that case, I don't recommend you use the heat with it, okay? Because otherwise you could have what we call hot roots. That means, again, we need to go in after and fix another problem, right? So we just solve a problem, and now we create a new problem. So this is also something that's always something that's important to have in mind when we work with our products. Always think about what kind of effect or impact could it have if I go in and use, example, heat together with the product. If I, example, was applying the oil in foils, I could use heat because now I don't have anything going on with the scalp. So just to be, again, aware of how you use your products inside the cell. So now we're nearly through this application here. So I will let it process up to around 40 minutes. We see how the timing goes today. And then I'm going to show you just a part of it, because I will not have time to do a full blow dry here today for you guys. Just to show you a section how it's going to look like, okay, when we're going to be finished. So after this one here, I will show you another technique. It's a color technique where I've been using bleach, and it's a very fast technique that I really think is very useful, because especially now when we have this COVID going on, there is clients that maybe don't want to be so long time in the salon, right? So we actually need to be sure that we have some techniques that can actually help us to make things maybe a little faster compared to before. Even the technique here, as I said before, the way I show you that we place our highlights here, so it's in the T section. So just apply where you do the parting, and we have also on the sides, so you get the lightning frame around the face, and that's it. There's no highlights in the back, as you can see. It's all the natural hair that I have here. This one here also works very well, example, if you have a wreath row. So let's say the clients, your classic highlight clients come to the salon, and again, you want to do something fast and maybe don't want to spend so much time. Just do, again, a frame around the front, so the face frame, and then you do where to do the partings. You do around 2 to 3 centimeters on the parting, and then you put in your foils, and then you're ready to go. What I'm checking up now, when I finish here, I just check out that my ends have enough product on, because sometimes when they are maybe porous or dry, they can absorb more product compared to the rest, and that means sometimes it might dry out. Since it's a lightning oil, it is very creamy, very emulsifying product. So I don't really see that gonna be an issue, but I will just be sure here that I have enough product on. That's it. I just lift it up a little bit so it still can breathe. So you get a bit of oxidation in between, just like that. And then we're gonna let her process for the time that we have left. Okay. So I'm gonna put her away, and you will see her a little bit later. So another model we have in here. So since we're sending live from the Danish village today, it's our education or academy inside. And it is actually quite nice because it's like a big kitchen. So I find really when we're working here, it's very nice. It is like a big kitchen. As you can see here, we have like a lot of our products standing here. So it is looking a little bit more like a kitchen when we work in here. That's what I really like about it. Sometimes, of course, I disappear to maybe get something or rinse out. And yeah, it's more creative way to work, of course, compared to what we normally do when I travel around the world. I see up around the world. So today is a little different way to see you guys hanging around here. Let me just see if there's somebody writing in the chat. Everybody's good. Everybody's fine. Seems like that's good. So that was tolerance we talked about when decentralized. So ammonia-free product. Now we're going to talk about our bleaching powders. So with the bleaching powders, you have two options, okay, in the center line. First, you have the Progress, which you see here. Progress have a white label, and the color of the Progress is a little bit like purple, which I'm going to show you here. So you have like a lilac color, okay? The lilac color here gonna actually help you to neutralize out some of the unwanted tones. So like when you're gonna have like orange yellow coming out, it helps to neutralize out a little bit that tone. But of course, it can never make it like cool. You'll always have your unwanted tone that come through no matter what. Of course, depending on what level you're starting on, you of course get different kind of result. The Progress is our classic bleaching powder. That means you can use it for your classic highlights. You can use it for scalp bleach, but only if you use it together with the tolerance. I will come back to that a little bit later. But when you want to do like a classic bleach or section of some bleaches, example, as I've done here, then you can actually go in and use the Progress, and you can use it together with the tolerance, depending on what kind of condition the hair has that you're going to work on. So I just want to show you here my next model here. I hope you like the effect we have here on the hair. So literally, this technique here is super easy to work with, because you just actually go in and section up some triangles. So I'll just quickly section up my first triangle here for you guys. And just so you have an idea of what it's going to look like. There we go. I hope you all can see what I'm doing here. So this is my first triangle. So I do it quite wide, and I do it from where I have my parting. So if it's in the middle, I do it in the middle. If it's a side parting, of course, do it on the side. Keep the whiteness in the front, and I keep it, of course, more into a triangle action in the back, as you might see here when I pull down the hair here, okay? So let's see if we can just tilt her a little bit. Then you see that. So it go up to around the crown, just before the crown. You can go also behind the crown if you want, but then it become, we can say a little more like normal blonde you're gonna do. This is just actually a frame blonde I've been making here. Okay, so I just do it actually just where the crown starts. So that's my first section here. I'm just gonna take it away. Just like that. So that was one triangle. So you see, easy to find here again. Then I'm gonna take out my next triangle here. Which comes here. And it's easy to see from the front. And I put it here. So the sizes of my triangles are depending on how much hair you're working on. So if you have a client with a lot of hair, you can make them a little bit thicker, or you can make them a little bit finer, but make more of them, depending on how you like to work with this technique here. My next triangle again, white in the front, and again, it go into a point in the back, as you can see here. Just like that, okay? I actually right here, stop behind the ear on this mannequin head here. Every time you have to think about where you're gonna finish your triangle section, so the point is depending on the shape of the head you have, and also depending on what kind of hair you're working on. So every time you need to find out where does the layer fall to find out where you're gonna see the lightning effect you're gonna create. So this was the second triangle that I have here. On the other side, I do exactly the same. I put in my triangle. You can maybe work with the 3 triangles over there, and I'm even going to show you now how I've done it, because I've done it a bit different over there. But just before I'm going to do that, I'm just going to explain you how I actually did my bleach here. So literally, I take a foil and I put my foil and I start to do my bleach. If I want to protect the hair underneath, what I quite often do with my hair underneath, I literally use a very thick conditioner. So it could be the Love Pack example. Sorry, the Love Mask. The Love Mask is very beautiful to use. So I really put it really thick. So I try to avoid the bleach can have any kind of impact, because that can happen sometimes. Then I apply my foil and I start to take my first section and I use Progress. And in this case here, I use Progress and 30 volume on the ends and lengths. And on my roots, because I also have to do a root scalp application, right? I have to mix my Progress. Oops, wrong one. So the Progress that you see here, I have to mix my Progress together with my Tolerance when I lighten on the scalp. I can use maximum 20 volume on the scalp when I use those two products together. Progress by itself on the scalp, we don't recommend dampness. You need the Tolerance because it's the only one that is dermatologically tested. So this is very important to remember. So Tolerance and Progress on the scalp, and I use Progress Pure on the ends and lengths. I lighten up to the level I like to see, and then I go in and then I toe everything when I'm done with that. So that was about my application. I'm just going to show you now the application on the other side. Not so much, sorry, the application, but more like the technique. So this was my two triangles I have here. I'm going to turn it around a little bit to here. And then we find out my next section, which I place quite high. So here again, depending on how much hair you have, how much hair are you working on, you need to find out where you can place your triangle so you really can see the blonde. Because if you place it too low, you're not going to see any of the blonde in the front, right? So mine is actually quite high on the first section here. As you can see, go there. And I place it actually very close to maybe like 1 centimeter from the beginning of the hairline. So that was another section I took out. There we go. And then we have like my next blonde section, as you can see here, is showing off here. Just gonna fix her here again. So that goes there. So that was my next section. So again here, a very wide triangle in the front, just like this. And what you can do, and I did actually here, I think actually, to be honest with you, that I think actually I took a very like just 2 millimeters of my dark section through to the front, just to have a bit of separation of my color. So I had another blonde shade here. So another triangle here. And then I'm going to show the last one, which come down here. There we have another one. So take away again my dark. See that? And you have your last triangle here. Just like this. So this is my last triangle. So dark underneath here again. Okay. So I have so we can say it's like really like a zigzag that you do in the whole front line. And then you take out the front. That's the one you're going to lighten. And then you keep the natural color in the back. Or you can even, make it even darker. You can cool it. You can warm it up. Even this technique here is super beautiful doing it with a color. So it doesn't have to be a bleach, but this is a way I want to show an easy way to actually go in and make a nice lightening in front of the clients. And again, compared to when you example have like a lot of highlights, if you do again the T section as I did previous, this technique here is also super fast to do for the clients in the salon. It gives a very beautiful effect on the client's hair, and it can also be very natural depending on how much you lighten up the hair. Any questions so far, ladies and gentlemen? Then feel free to write in the chat and I will explain you if there's anything that was not clear. So let's just style this one here. So at least it looks a little more nicer after I've been making it a little bit messy here. So I'm just going to take a brush. So just take my brush here, I go in again, I find my parting, where I had my parting before, and then I just brush it through. And now, as you can see probably, that when I don't go so much over the crown, so I just go to the crown, I don't go behind the crown, you now will actually see the effect. When I turn it around, you can actually see here how she had the more depth on the back, and then you have the light start to show up slightly, and then she become blonder and blonder into the front line. So again here, ladies and gentlemen, a very easy technique to use. And also what I do in many cases with my clients in the salon, I will give them a treatment before I tone the hair. This is a good way always to get a nice condition on the hair. It's also a good way to balance out the condition that is maybe not always so nice. So especially some ends and lengths, sometimes they become very porous, right? And we all know when we're going to tone it, quite often ends and lengths grab very fast the toner. So when we finish, the roots look a little bit more warmer and the ends look like really cool. And yeah, sometimes we can get away with it, but quite often it doesn't look so wow. Let's just admit it, right? We want it to be more perfect. So a way to balance or equalize out that difference in your condition on the hair, you can go in and do, example, the nourishing from Natural Tech. You can go in and give a treatment with a Keratin Wonder, and you can add the booster in case of the hair is very porous and give that treatment to the whole bleach section before you're gonna do toning. Another thing you can do, if you want more intense treatments, you can go in and you can use the on protection. The on protection have also maleic and lipoic acid inside. So the same as you find the hair protecting booster inside the two bleaching powder of Centralite. So the Progress example and also the Liberty have also the same key ingredients inside. So that's the hair protecting booster we call it. But the on protection by itself is just pure maleic acid and lipoic acid. And the way you can use it here, you can add it into your bleach example. So example, mask bleach don't have this protection and new color bleach don't have it, but you can add it into your bleach and use 1 gram per 10 gram of bleaching powder in those two cases. Your Progress and your Liberty have already inside, so you don't need it there. But again, if I want to do a strengthening treatment on my blondes, I can use the on protection where I can use 12 gram of on protection and 70 gram of water, pure water. I emulsify it together in a bottle, so shake it together and then apply it all over the blondes or even all over the hair if you want, because it's gonna help you to strengthen the bonds on the hair. So it gives you a reinforcing of the bonds. So where the hair has maybe already been broken, the bonds are a bit porous, they're not so strong anymore, it will go in and reinforce those bonds to become stronger, and also the hair become more uniform in condition. I do that for 10 minutes and then I rinse off. Normally, we should finish with a conditioner on top of it to make it a beautifying treatment. But in this case here, when I want to do my toning, I will first do the conditioner after. So I just do the on protection for 10 minutes, I rinse it off, and then I towel dry my hair, and then I do my toning, and then after I rinse out my toning, I do a light shampoo, and then I finish with my conditioner on top of it. That's how you're gonna work around it this way here. So, a lot of talking here. I'm gonna use oil. I just use 2 pumps of the oil here, just to give more shine to the hair, especially through my ends and lengths. Because especially sometimes with our mannequin heads here, they've been through a lot of treatments. So I want to be sure that actually they're a little more beautiful and protected. The oil, those you maybe don't know the oil in Devaness, the oil have an oil going from Nuka oil coming from the Amazon forest. And it's a trade fair oil we're using. So that means that those farmers that produce this oil have been also paid the relevant amount of money they need, and it's not illegal oil coming from the Amazon forest, as we all know that we have to protect, right? So we don't want anything illegal going on there. So we only use fair trade ingredients when we talk about our ingredients coming from those kind of areas where there could be some mistakes going on in some cases. I hope you like the end result here. I'm just gonna use my medium hairspray from Moinside just to fix my hair a little bit. Just like there. I think she's good there. So just for you guys to have a final look, I hope you like the end result here of our model. Maybe I take it up a little bit so you better can see her. Yeah, that's a bit better. There. So this is how you can see, so more or less the natural balance in the back, and then you see how she becomes a little more nicer, blonder in the front. And you have this like really nice face framing of your blonde that you can see inside here. I hope you like it, okay? So I'm gonna put it over here, and then I'm gonna show you another model. We can just stand there maybe. And I think let's just check up about timing. We have 12 minutes left. So I just want to show you now what's actually going on here with our tolerance and the lightning with the 20 volume. And you can probably already see now that it starts to cool down that kind of warm that she had on the hair. She was a little bit like red-brown, but now it actually starts to look a little bit cooler, a little more brighter the color. So also here, when we're going to see it, it's going to look quite nice, I think. So another way that I've been using my bleach here is where I can use the progress here. And the progress here I've been using to lighten up the hair here. So I do full head bleach that I'm using progress here. And the good things about progress, I have the hair protecting booster inside. That's the same as the Liberty. The Liberty powder today, I'm just going to talk about. I didn't do application with it, but the Liberty powder is your freehand powder. Okay, the freehand powder you can use for all kind of freehand technique. You can lighten up to 8 levels with this powder here. Mixing proportion of your Liberty powder is from 1:1 to 1:3. So you have flexibility depending on what kind of texture you like to work with on the hair. The unique things about the Liberty is you have a clay inside. The clay helps you to keep the moisture in the hair so the lightning keeps going on, but the clay also helps to, we can say, dry out on the surface. So we actually protect the natural hair in between. That means when you literally apply the freehand technique with the Liberty, you don't need anything to protect the other hair in between. You don't need a foil or any kind of separation. You can just let it hang down without any kind of fear that it's going to lighten some of your natural hair, which is very unique. Processing time up to 40 minutes with the Liberty. Lighting 8 levels with maximum, of course, 40 volume is the highest lighting you can get. Back to the progress. The progress can lighten up to 9 levels, so a little bit stronger compared to Liberty. If you again here use 40 volume, but just have again in mind the Liberty and the progress. We don't recommend to scalp. Okay. Again here I use the progress. So I did first my ends and lengths, and then I apply on the scalp. I use again here my progress and my tolerance on the scalp, and then I separated. I rinse it up, of course. I did even here on protection treatment because the hair here get quite porous, as you can imagine, because those hair normally are quite dark to start with. So we need to be sure to get that kind of like color effect. We need to have the perfect lightning on the hair, right? So I did the on protection treatment. I rinsed it off, and then I did my toning. The toning here, I done half the head, and it actually go back again in, starting from the point in the front and go back to the middle of the nail. This is inspired from the collection of the Eternal collection done by Tom Connell, and Ashley Hodges have been done the color techniques. So you probably have seen it's called Meta Meta. You might have seen it already, but it's done on 2 different kind of copper tones, where here I decided to go with the ash tones instead. So you can see here how it's going to look like when you're going to turn it around. So just going to turn it like this. Now you can see here how actually the line continue in the back. So I have my darker gray and I have my lighter gray. So one gray here, as you can see, is more like a bluish gray that I created here. And the bluish gray, what I've been using here is View. I've been using View on both cases here. So I just gonna take them here for you guys. You can see what shades I've been using. So here on my bluish side, so this one here, I've been using my 711. Okay, I've been using my charcoal. and I've been using my steel. On the other side, so where we have the lighter gray, more like we can say silvery, a little silvery beige, I'll probably say here. I've been using my 922, as you have here, and I mix it together with some steel, as you have here. We always have to use 10 volume, again, from the mask activators, as you see here. That's what we have to use every time we're going to use view. Okay, that's how it works. It doesn't work with 20 volume or 5 volume or 30 volume. It doesn't make any difference. So always remember, use 10 volume. Mixing proportion was one part of the view and one part of the activator. And again here, I told it on semi-wet hair. You can apply view on dry hair too. Just have in mind, when you do it on dry hair, it may be slightly look a half level darker, since it's gonna be more compact. I would say more true to the tone. When I put it on semi-dry hair, it's a little more translucent. What's really nice about view is it's a gel, so it means it's gonna be also very translucent. So if there's any difference in the color, as you can see here, those mannequin heads will all know they don't have just a hair for one person. They have hair for a few different people. That means also when you're gonna lighten, you're gonna have some that's more gold, some that's a little more white. So you always see this difference also when you finish with using actually your view, because it's a gel. Compared to this is a cream base, as we all know, when you use a cream base example, the cream base will always make the color more compact. So what is really nice when you use a gel, it is actually more translucent compared to a cream base. I'm just gonna apply here a little bit of the invisible serum from one side. And I said a little bit, that was a little bit too much. So let's just give it here. And I'm first gonna apply to the ends and lengths because they're the one that absorb more products. And then I start to take it down towards the roots because we don't want it to look greasy, right? So this is very important. The invisible serum is very nice because it's very light. It's a styling cream. It just helps you to keep a nice balance on the hair and keep it under control, but you don't have any kind of strength. When I say strength, it's like in hold. Okay, so the hold factor, you don't really have any kind of impact there. So again, put on my invisible serum. I just brush my hair here, just like this. And there you go. You have a beautiful, cool blonde gray. Okay, so that's how she gonna look like here. And we leave it this way here, very, very beautiful and very, very natural, okay? Let me just change it there, like that. So what I'll do now, I'll go and rinse off my tolerance, and then I'll be back. Just give me 3 minutes, I will be back with you guys, okay? So we're gonna remove this one here, and we're gonna remove that one here. Here. And then we have her here. So I just did a shampoo and then I conditioned the hair. Of course, it was quite fast, so you don't have to wait too long time. But it's not a big issue because I actually can go in and give her a treatment while we're gonna blow dry the hair. So what kind of treatment could I actually go in and give our mannequin head here? I could go in and give her the liquid spell, because the liquid spell is a beautiful treatment you can do at the same time when you blow dry the hair. It's a leave-on product. It's the fastest treatment you can do in Damask, and this is what I really like about the liquid spell. You don't need any kind of processing time. You just apply it to the hair. It can be used on fine hair, on porous hair. It gives nice body and volume to the hair, and that I think is a product. There is first of all, it's very light. You will see it now. I'm sure to you guys. It's very, very light. It means also the clients that have fine hair, they normally don't want treatments, right? Because they're a bit afraid the hair actually getting too heavy. They want to have that like really beautiful light hair. They still want to have the classic body and the volume. So that's why actually you can go in and use the liquid spell. So here we have the liquid spell. As you can see, that's your liquid spell. We're gonna apply up to 4 pumps, depending on how much hair you're working on. And it's liquid, but you can see it becomes a foam. So it's very easy to apply for you guys. Take it out, take it through the ends and lengths because that's where it's most needed. And then you can start to put it down towards the roots because they're more healthy, right? But the ends is where you really need this product because that's the part that's most porous and it's the worst condition on the hair most. I'm just gonna take my blow dryer. And then I'm gonna just blow dry a few sections for you guys so you can see how it looks like. As you maybe can see already now, that the blonde come out more blonde. Before they were very neutral, we can say, compared to that is a bleach. Now we just have that little more evident lightness come through. You can then see here, the lighting is really controlled, right? Didn't overlighten my hair at all. You just see this really beautiful, more light coming through, and it blends and matches the hair in a beautiful way. And you can even see here, the shine on the hair is still really beautiful. You see that? Beautiful shine coming through on the hair. No toning here. It's just been lighted with the tolerance and 20 volume. And I did it from roots to the ends, just to exactly go in and clean the hair a little more, make my blondes come out a little more, and also have a nicer blending between my natural hair and my highlights. So again, tolerance is really beautiful to work. Super, super gentle. It's dermatologic tested. That means also here again that you don't really have any kind of scalp irritation, which is very important today because a lot of clients today, they are more sensitized. So we also want to be sure they don't have any kind of like negative experience in your salon, right? So this is a beautiful way you can work with the center line. So the tolerance or the progress or the center line, sorry, or the Liberty, which is a freehand powder, depending on what kind of color you want to see. Okay, so I hope you like the result here. It's nice shine. Again, here, no oil, nothing. I just use again the liquid spill to give more strength back to the hair because the liquid spill have the amino acids, so the hair becomes stronger and so on. I'm gonna take her away. We are nearly ending our class today. Just gonna bring back our beautiful model here with the easy technique, fast technique for you guys to do again inside the salon. And we're just gonna make her like this. So I would like to say thank you to all of you for joining our class today here from the Demoness Village. I hope to see you soon again. Join some of our other classes in the Demoness Education on Facebook, or you can also see some of the lives we have on Instagram with Tom Connell and Ashley Hodges. And that's it. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for joining me. Take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.